Now, one distinguishing feature of the PDP is its history. As one of its founding fathers, Professor Jerry Gana, reminded Nigerians recently, not only did the PDP lead Nigeria out of military rule and back into democracy in 1999, it's still the longest ruling party in this country's history. And it helped lay the foundation, both for good and for ill, for the Nigeria that we have today. And so it is with the hand of history on the PDP's shoulders that he says the PDP must lead this country into a brighter future. But given the challenges the PDP still faces within its ranks, with some of its leading members destructively pledging their support for President Tinubu and the ruling APC, how much of all this is gesture politics without any real prospect of that return of the PDP happening anytime soon? Or could this be a moment which could perhaps be a reference point, a change in direction, which signifies and even contributes to a major political shift for the PDP and for Nigeria? Well, for more on this, I'm joined now in the studio by the former Minister of Information and one of the founding fathers of the PDP, Professor Jerry Gana. Thank you very much indeed for coming.
Thank you very much, Charles. I'm delighted to be here.
And I do have to say...
Thank you for finding me out.
I had to look around a bit, but we found you. Especially after you delivered that absolutely electrifying speech
at that very much. I appreciate that. Thank you very
conference. Much. But beyond, as I said, that sort of moment, what's changed in the PDP?
Well, in political parties, I think it's very important for us to recognize that because of the contending idea, even within the party, you cannot rule out, tensions here and there.
Well, that's putting it mildly.
Oh yeah, I mean,
given the kind of
some people are even
fundamental tensions.
Yeah. So I must confess that many people have forgotten that the PDP was created as a grassroots organization. We are in every word. In fact, by the time that in 1998 we were formed and then moving to the elections in 1999. We were in every polling unit because we are the ones who really won the first election. Many people have forgotten the PDP won most of the local governments. When it came to the presidential elections, we won the presidency, we won the Senate, we won the House. We were totally in control. And that is why we were very delighted that we restored democracy to Nigeria and re-established civil rule. Because a number of years, military rule, we successfully terminated that in a very democratic way and made rule relevant to the people. So that the PDP was really, as it were, a grassroots party. And that's why when we say power to the people, we meant it. Because that was what it was. And it has been like that. So when this recent problem that happened, it was really among a few elite here in Abuja. It didn't even go beyond Abuja. Seriously.
Yeah, but to be fair, your problems didn't start a couple of years ago.
They
started from 2015. There's been a steady erosion from 2015
really.
till now. And that's why a lot of people think that the damage is so, corrosively deep, that it'll be almost,
Charles,
near impossible to bring it back.
I remember it very, very clearly. I was chairman of the National Convention of the party in 2014. When a few people, about 7 of them, 5 governors and so on, pressed to go out of the convention, although we were willing to yield all the grounds, whatever the contest was, whatever the arguments were. But I think we made a mistake, because in 2011, when President Goodluck Jonathan was re-elected after the first term, it was agreed, seriously, that we have to realize that by 2014, 2015 is the turn of the North. And we wanted to remember and respect that. Unfortunately, when we came to 2014, 2015, some people particularly...
The goalposts changed.
Particularly for us, there was no vacancy in there. So no, that was a fundamental...
Were you one of those people?
No. It was some of them have gone now. And in our culture, you don't speak evil about it.
Yeah, but did you urge Jonathan to remain in office?
No. We actually encouraged him that it was the time, but when it was beyond him to really, as kind of obey what we were really requesting, we said, okay, let's go ahead and do it. So it was really morally the turn of the North. And Buhari rode, or the APC rode on that tremendously. But the point I want to make is that the number of those who went to form the APC in 2015, all of them came back to the PDP. And we were so gracious. In fact, one of them became the presidential candidate in 2019.
Yeah, but that wasn't strong enough to win the presidency.
No, but it was a very strong showing. Very strong showing.
but I mean...
So what I'm saying now, the cuts were not so deep. Most people came back. Atiku came back, Saraki came back.
Yeah, but he's left again.
No.
Well, Atiku,
I'm coming to that.
Atiku has left again. And he's basically said
the other day,
and not only him, but a whole slew of others.
And the conference
that you're no longer, the fidelity to your principles is not there anymore.
You're asking a question. Let me tell the story, because the story with us, that's where the
sweetness is. Go right ahead.
The thing is, the other day during that conference you referred to, and thank you very much for that introduction about the conference, one of us at the conference referred to some people as nomadic politicians. That was the first time. That. Some people are just used to moving.
Yeah, that's an interesting term.
And you can't prevent it. And we allow it, and we are so gracious. When they want to come back, a number of them, by the grace of God, will soon be coming back to us. Therefore, when we saw that these issues were just really at the top here, and the grassroots kept sending us messages of founding fathers. Now look, stop this. The people are with you. I had to rise as the voice of the founding fathers to really have a conference at a very short notice. But the standard was impressive. The deliberations were solid. The conclusions were correct. The whole thing was over. The following day, we had a national working committee. We had a caucus. We had the National Executive Committee resolved to go to convention. Everything was over. We are now moving. PDP is now moving. And soon the nation will feel the impact of this.
Well, there are a lot of things to get through.
Okay.
But you're a very powerful, inspirational speaker.
Well,
so you say all the right things.
We also do the right thing. As we put it out in the introduction, we govern this country for the most, in this democracy. Yeah. We rule the law.
Well, one point you made, which was interesting and important, is the fact that you admitted that a mistake was made.
A mistake was made in 2015. Because the founding fathers, and I that's why, even this conference, I reminded us, the founding fathers came to a very patriotic conclusion that we are not just politicians looking for power. We are nation builders. And in nation building, you have to always remember justice, fairness, equity.
Indeed.
And that's why in 1998, when they looked at us and said, look, all of us from this northern part of Nigeria, because of what happened to Abiola, when the one election it was announced, there should be power shift. We decided. And I thank all the founding fathers, none of them, wanted to kind of stood for that election. So that's why the power shifted to
and that's why you are also now saying that power should shift to the south.
Because in
the PDP.
Buhari was, APC were in power for 8 years. Now, another 2 years. So it is really in that tradition, the turn of the south since 2023. That's why we pleaded with some of our members. Let's respect this rule.
But I mean, Professor Gana, we see the ambition. I mean, it's written all over your face, which you clearly articulated, as I said, in that inspiring speech at that consultative conference. We see the ambition to carve out a new niche for the PDP, recognizing, as you said, the hand of history on the PDP's shoulder. But is it anything more than just ambition, a statement of intent?
Far more. It's very deep, very profound. As I speak with you, the chairman of the party in the 19 plus Abuja, northern states, they've all come to me and said, look, sir, We agree entirely with what you've said. This is what it should be. It's the turn of the South. Therefore, go search for excellent presidential candidate because Nigeria deserves the best. And so we're leading that search, and we're making very, very good progress. And I hope very much after the convention, we shall make announcements. And I'm telling you, those who have made the mistake of moving to the other side will move back. Because the move will be so clear, it will be so just, it will be so fair, it will be so absolutely wonderful that they would like to be part of this process that will return power to those who know how to govern excellently. Because for 16 years, PDP government, all the institutions of government that are really being celebrated now were all created by the PDP. Within the years, we did solid. The one that celebrated the most is the National Communications Commission. When we came into power, there were less than 500,000 lines throughout the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Well, you know, you're a media person to some extent. I mean, you were the Minister of Information, and you know what they say in the media, don't you? No. You're only as good as your last story. So for you to be making reference, but we're talking about now, we're not talking about then.
See, if you did well then, when it was so tough, resuscitating the whole process after so many years of military rule.
Some people made the same argument, with all due respect to him, of former leaders in this country who people thought about in the 1980s, and then they came back, decades later, and they just didn't deliver. So just the fact that you did it in history doesn't mean that you're going to replicate it. And let me ask you this, Professor Jerry Gana, how do you see the PDP in 2027? Because that really is what it's about at the moment, isn't it? 2027, when the presidential election will be upon this country, with the likes of leading PDP figures like Nyesom Wike and Ayo Fayose endorsing President Tinubu in 2027 and pledging not only to support him, but to marshal everything they can to ensure that he wins against whoever the PDP chooses as its presidential candidate.
The strategy of the PDP is very profound, very people-oriented, transformational. And when we get moving, I want to say it, take note of it. Some of the people I've mentioned now would want to be back and say, no, we didn't know it was going to be as glorious.
But Nyesom Wike never left.
Wait now.
You're saying that he wants to be
You
back.
asked me a question, Charles. Give me a second.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Therefore, while I have tremendous respect for those people you mentioned, I said they were too early in assessing the situation within the country. Because, quite honestly, whatever anybody may say, there are some very profound issues disturbing the people of this country that are real. They're not imaginary. The issue of the economy. The economy, people are going through very tough times. I'm not being political. It's real.
Yeah, it is real.
The exchange rate alone has moved over 760%. From our 197 when we were in government to now 1,000 plus, 1,500, 1,600. It's huge. Therefore, prices out there are very severe. People are touched on a daily basis. They are reminded on a daily basis. And they remember what we were doing. Secondly, the issue of security. We thought one of the things that really this president promised and people were excited about is to restore stability, security, and peace in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. In one of my own, I come from this zone, in Benue here, just a few weeks ago, over 300 people. Phew. And it's happening in Katsina, it's happening in Zamfara, it's happening in other places. So insecurity is very, very difficult. So these are things that touch people very closely. The economy, the issue of security and peace, and then the issue of really, as it were, making sure the younger people, brilliant minds, educated young people, exciting. They do very well in Canada, but in our own country there are no jobs. Employment for these youth, very, very important. So there are issues that are so profound, so real. And we have demonstrated before that we have genuine answers. Now the telecom sector was really completely, in those days when we took over, absolutely nothing. We said, we can solve it. We came up with the technology. Obasanjo approved this GSM program, and then we look around. who are those companies somewhere in Africa or beyond who have the engineering capacity to lay it out? I went to South Africa twice. Sure, Malemi was the ambassador. He's now gone, to glory. I went, and Sabo Mbeki and others were very nice to us. They introduced us to MTN, and I went to their office, and I pleaded with them. Come over to Nigeria. They don't used to come this way at all. And they bought the first license and laid it out. They've been doing very well. Do you know, about 2 or 3 days ago when I checked with the National Communications Commission, we now have over 200 million lines. Look,
no, they've done
we've
well
done
in
it before.
Nigeria, no
we've
question.
done it before.
Yeah.
Therefore, we can come in, the issue of the economy, the critical factors to be touched, which they are ignoring, which is so real, is that Nigeria is the most attractive economy in the whole of Africa. People like to invest here. Yeah, people know the true. Alone, 200 million plus, that's a huge market, huge market. Resources, in all the 36 states, every state, resources. And then the people, vibrant, articulate, hardworking, willing to move. So people want to invest here. And therefore, they want to really move their funds here. Unfortunately, I'm not blaming the president. I think he's got some of the, I call them gatekeepers. They are not really being good facilitators. They are frustrating the investors out. We know how to really, bring them in. When I was minister, we did excellently. Some of the things we did, people were bringing their money now. Within a few months, people liked what we were doing. They forgave us $18 billion. Debt forgiving. So, no, you people know you know what you're doing. Move on. We know how to turn around this economy. Just, President Donald Trump, whatever anybody may say about it, within a few months, is attracting to the U.S. over 15 billion, trillion. We've never been able to do 100 billion, 200 billion. Why not? Believe you me, that sector is real. Right. People are willing, but we are frustrating them. And we are saying, look, if we are in power, we will facilitate.
As I said, Prof, you were a former Minister of Information. You are a former Minister of Information. You are very convincing.
No, but these are the realities.
However,
even the
let me bring us back to that nettlesome issue.
Yeah.
People like Nyesom Wike are in control of the PDP, or certainly have a large measure of control. With that in mind, you said a few days ago that the PDP was wooing the likes of Peter Obi back to the PDP. Can he hope in such circumstances to be the candidate of the PDP in 2027 with the Nyesom Wike lockdown factor?
I don't think you'll be happy with that term lockdown.
Well, I mean, you can dispel that. You can dispel that.
Seriously, people misunderstand Wike. Wike is a lover of the PDP. He would have gone long ago.
Yeah, but he has said very clearly that he's supporting.
I'm coming to that. Coming to that. Genuinely, not only does he love the PDP, he is also deliberately invested in the PDP. More than most of us. In other words, he's genuine. He loves the PDP. What some of the things that happened that pained him, and you just watch him in the next field between now and the convention, you'll see wicked change. Because really, he was terribly maltreated. I had the privilege in my house. He's one of the founding fathers. During 2023, I called a former vice president, because a friend of his from Kaduna came to see me and said, look, you are the founding fathers. Call these people to order. They are going to scatter this thing. He honored me. He came, and I called Wike. He came all the way by a private flight from Port Harcourt. 2 of them with me in my little house. And we reached a conclusion. No, seriously. That how to move and really win the election in 2023. Agreed. Sarako, let's have a committee of 14, 7 from both sides. The former vice president nominated the governor of Adamawa State as the chairman of his own team of 7. Wike recommended and appointed Mimiko, the former governor of Ondo, as the leader of his own team. The 7 side, 14, met here in Abuja, met in Port Harcourt, and reached excellent conclusions. By the time they left, they met, and were very excited with the conclusions. They followed the vice president because he traveled to the UK. They followed because there was no time. They followed to give him the report. He was excited with the report. They agreed on conclusions. But in coming back to Nigeria, I don't know what happened. So people were genuinely saying, no, you are not serious about it. Because the main thing that they was, look, since you've won the ticket, you've taken the ticket, you also have chosen your vice president, at least let me go back, that's wicked, with the chairman of the party so that our people will know that we are also part of this. And you know what happened? I was so shocked.
Yeah, well, as I said, that was then.
Yeah, no,
this is now.
Wait. That was, so he was reacting.
Yeah.
And now, I don't know, maybe to answer to prayer, a lot of those people who were fighting, they've just moved themselves out.
Yeah, but he has said, beyond
I'm coming to that.
I mean, you're making good points here, but he has said that he's supporting presidency.
No, I'm coming to that.
So whoever you choose as your candidate has to contend with him. Still a member of the PDP, but supporting with his considerable clout, supporting someone else in another party.
You see, the issue when it comes to elections, people know who and who will protect their interests. And as I've said to you, a number of the issues that made the APC right now very vulnerable are still real. And they are not likely to be able to transform in the next year or two because they are deep and they are not facilitated. Therefore, when we come to the campaign, the issues will be real. They are not just imaginary. And then when we begin to bring those issues and there are no answers, we will not be able to even retain some of the people that are supporting him. They say, look, sir, the reality is what the people are saying is true. And I want to assure you, because I know Wike, very, very principled, he will not allow his
that's an interesting choice of terms, isn't it? in the context of what a lot of people think of him as.
Well, now you are revealing.
Well, I mean, I am purely a vessel via which many
I'm a founding father, and I have to protect every member of this party.
But let me say this, because
what I'm saying, therefore, let me just conclude that part. What I'm saying, some of these things you are looking at will disappear when the reality dawns.
Well, I hope for the sake of your party
and so
that
when you now, and you are talking about Peter Obi and others were hoping to come back to the, because Peter was with us. He was in the PDP.
Yeah, he was.
Actually, we made a mistake in 2023. I wish somebody on the other side, where he was vice president to Atiku at that time. If I were Atiku, I would say, Peter, it's now your turn.
Yeah.
Come up. I'll give you a good vice president. But they didn't do it. What I'm saying now is that our own platform will be so good, will be so fascinating, will be so, real, that these people, they may not come over to us, but they'll just keep quiet.
But let me ask you this, Prof. As you said, Peter B, you guys are reaching out.
Oh, yeah, we are reaching out, yeah.
But
certainly.
He's also being wooed, as are several others, by the ADC coalition. I mean, what would you offer him that would make him turn to the PDP in preference to the ADC or even the Labour Party, of which he's still a member?
Well, because I'm leading a search team, and there are so many brilliant people down south. We have, Peter may be good, but there's somebody better.
Potentially.
Well, potentially. So we're searching, okay? And all of them are very, very good candidates. So for now...
So you don't want to give any preference to anybody, which is understandable.
Not now. Later on,
let me frame it another way.
Okay.
As I said, we're running out of time.
Because our people are very, very interested in this, and they are reaching out, they are very excited with Peter, there's no doubt. But they're also excited with other people.
Right.
And we are reaching those people. And those people haven't given us the final word yet. So I cannot definitely say
I see what you mean.
But they're excited. They are good. They are nice.
If let's speculate, if by some freak of circumstance the PDP gives the ticket to Peter Obi and the ADC gives the ticket to Atiku Abubakar, as is being speculated, isn't that just going to amount to a repeat of what happened in 2023, where Obi and Atiku divided the opposition vote and consequently handed victory to Tinubu?
No, it will be something else. Because you say the parties have changed. The PDP is on ground. Peter Obi now will not be on Labour. He will now be on the PDP. The PDP is, look, in all
yeah,
the
but
six...
Atiku Abubakar, who is claiming to be one of the inheritors of Muhammadu Buhari's 12 million votes, will be in the ADC.
I'm a researcher.
Right.
And I research opinions. And believe you me, in the northern states, Peter Obi under the PDP would defeat any candidate up here. Because our people are very fair-minded. They say, no, look, it's the turn of the South. In 2031, it will be the turn of the South, and they are getting ready. So there is that very powerful process. Our people are very fair-minded. They are very just. We are building a nation. We don't want people to ruin this opportunity. Because, you see, the move we made in 1990 resolved the June 12th thing. It was very, very vicious. But when we came and said, this is not right. When we made that move, Obasanjo has been president. Tinubu now, who was in the trenches then, is now president. We now have the Nigerian nation back. And people say now it has worked. The founding fathers were wise. So therefore, if it is the turn of the South, please give it to the South.
Right.
Now,
okay.
I don't know when last you were in Adama. Atiku comes from Adama. There is the PDP government in place in Adama. And it's real in place. It's governing. It's popular. It's powerful. How many people have gone with him?
Okay.
Oh, we have 3 governors in the whole of the Northeast, where he comes from. In Bauchi, in Taraba, in Adamawa, and with the kind of moves that are going on, we are very strong again in Borno, and Yobe, and Gombe, the southern part where I've been always there. What I'm now saying, even in the zone where he comes from, there will be very, very serious contention. So we're not saying that it's not strong, but Peter will be far, far stronger. And we have a better candidate even than Peter.
Okay. Well, on that note, as I thought, it was very interesting talking with you. I thought this would be a good chat, but it's been a brilliant chat.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Thank you very, very much.
Professor Jerry Gana is the former Minister of Information and one of the founding fathers of the PDP, and clearly an enormously articulate gentleman. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Continue the good work.